Today we are going to talk about conservation of mechanical energy. Now, before coming to the explanation of it, let us just recall what is mechanical energy. Okay, so when I say mechanical energy, okay, I mean in simple way, mechanical energy is sum of kinetic plus potential energy of a system. Okay, so this is the meaning of mechanical energy. So if you have a system, you calculate its kinetic energy at one point and you add the potential energy at that point, then the total mechanical energy will be given by this. Now, we are not going to talk about conservation of energy. uh, Conservation of energy, you are familiar with it, that the energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. It can be transferred from one form to another form by doing work, right? But here we are talking about conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, so both are different. Total energy is always conserved. Okay, that is a universal law. But this one needs some condition to be conserved. And most of the questions in your book or whatever you will encounter has to deal with this conservation of mechanical energy. Now, let us talk about under what circumstances this mechanical energy is conserved, and we'll take one two example to explain. So the statement says that the total mechanical energy of a system remain constant. Constant means one number, okay, like 10, 20, whatever. Only and only if work done by external forces and non-conservative forces are zero, and work is done only by internal conservative forces. Now, before I take example, if you can recall work energy theorem, then it says that the net work done on a body is equal to change in kinetic energy. And change in kinetic energy, I can write it final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Now, net work done, I can break this. I can write that net work done, some work might be done by conservative forces, some work might be done by non-conservative forces, and some work may be done by external forces. So we are breaking into three parts. Okay, net work done. Now, conservative forces, if you remember, we have two forces right now with us, spring force and gravitational force, right? Non-conservative forces, we have friction with us. Friction or air resistance, uh, whatever. Uh, Friction comes under non-conservative force. An external force will be something, suppose your hand is applying some force or someone is pushing it, pulling it, that will be external force. Now, if you go by the statement, then it says that mechanical energy will be conserved only and only if work done by external and non-conservative forces zero. So in this statement, now if we put this condition, so our condition is, okay, important conditions is work done by non-conservative forces zero and work done by external forces zero. Now, so if you put this, then we know that this expression, this and this we lost because they are zero in our condition, and this is equal to kf minus kf. Now, if you recall, work done by conservative forces is equal to negative change of potential energy. So since we know that work done by conservative forces is equal to negative change in potential energy, so this one I can write it uf minus ui, right? Negative change. So if I substitute this thing here, then I will get minus uf minus ui to be equal to, if I open the bracket, then this will become ui minus uf. This is kf minus ki. Now what I will do, I will take I and f terms to one side. So ui plus ki will be equal to uf plus kf. Now you can see that this is nothing but initial mechanical energy of the system, and this is the final mechanical energy of the system, right? So this way we have proven that if only this condition is applied, then only the total energy is conserved. Now remember one catch here, that this work energy theorem can be applied, this one can be applied to any scenario, okay, whether there is a friction, not friction, whatever. But this conservation of mechanical energy is going to be applied only when these two conditions are met. Okay. Now in the next video, we are going to take some examples of it.